is going on, everybody? I got to play my Scions, Tempestus Scion army, including 4 Leman Russes this weekend. And I played against the Harlequins for the first time since the Codex was released. So I'm going to give you a little recap of that game and some thoughts. And then before I do so, please subscribe if you like my style of videos. I just kind of stream of conscious, opinionated talks. In the future, I want to get some of those like Google Hangouts so we can record. This will probably only be about a 7.5 minute video. We're going to see if people like the shorter content. And also coming up will be reviews of each house for the new Knight Codex. So that'll be cool. Maybe. So I played my Tempestus Scion army this weekend. And I had 2 Taurox Primes with Gatling guns, 1 missile launcher Taurox Prime, 3 Leman Russes with the autocannon turrets and triple heavy bolters, a Leman Russ tank commander with Gatling gun and multi-melta sponsons and a las cannon, and I had 40 Scions, I believe, 3 Scion Prime character guys and 1 Primaris Psyker. One 10-man squad had 4 plasma guns, another 10-man squad had 4 plasma guns. Oh, I think I had 50 Scions. Another 10-man squad had 4 hotshot volley guns. Another 10-man squad had 3 grenade launchers, and another 10-man squad had 1 melt-a-gun. Actually, it was 2 5-man squads because I was too many points over, so I dropped all the melt-a-guns except 1. That was kind of list tailoring since I was going against Harlequins. I didn't figure I needed a unit of 4 melt-a-guns, but also they're expensive on Scions. It's like a 27-point guy or something crazy. It's too expensive for a toughness 3 guy, but we can get to that. So he got first turn, moved everything up, didn't do a whole lot of damage to anything, and then all of a sudden did a whole bunch of damage to 1 Leman Russ and put it at 11 wounds, and that was it. My first turn I had to drop in all my Scions and disembark any of them that I had in trucks, just because his army was already halfway across the table. And his army was, everything was either on a jet bike or in a Star Weaver, I think they're called, or a Sky Weaver. And it all flew up. So the whole army was half table. There was like 2 or 3 Death Jesters and a Solitaire left behind. So it would have been the FAQ played a big part here. It felt very kind of weak having to drop my whole army in my own deployment zone. Luckily his army was so fast that dropping in my deployment zone meant I could still shoot and even rapid fire some of the plasma guns, which was nice. But actually if he had maybe stayed 13 inches or so back from my deployment line, knowing that I could only drop in my deployment zone on first turn, he probably could have saved himself a lot of damage. So that was kind of a bummer, actually fielding a really heavy deep strike army now after the FAQ. And it made a huge difference on who went first, because if I went first, I could have shot his stuff, then he goes, ends up in the middle of the table like he did, but now on my second turn, I could drop things behind him, thus, forcing him to split, turn around or continue forward. In this case, I had to drop my whole army in my deployment zone, meaning he had nothing to choose. He just continued forward. I had some awesome rolls. I was overcharging plasma guns at -1 to hit vehicles and destroying them and coming out with only 2 or 3 dead Scions. And I was just wrecking shop. And it was crazy how much I killed. I killed like everything in the first turn. But because the Harlequins are tough, it's like, 1 or 2 of them are going to come and like pretty much start wrecking shop on some squads. So even though I killed a ton and it felt like it should have been game over right there, it wasn't, because they're still very strong. So another thing is the Scions aren't cheap either. So it's not like I mean, I had 50 guys. I don't know how many he had, but he had a lot of things flying at me. So anyway, he charges in, ties up some things, kills some things. He doesn't make any spectacular anythings. My next turn, I just keep piling bullets into him. Those autocannon Lehman Russes are freaking awesome. I don't know why nobody's ever used them before except me. I love them. They're just wrecking shop. And all the Lehman Russes were Bostroyan. All the Scions were Scions, so they got the extra shot ability if they weren't -1 to hit something. And it came down, we just played Last Man Standing, because it was, I don't know how many games he's played with his Harlequin Codex, but it was my first time finally getting to try out my Scion. So I wasn't really aware of all my stratagems or whatever. But Last Men Standing were 1 Death Jester, 2 Lehman Russes, and 1 Scion Tempestus Prime character. So I have defeated the Harlequins. It was a good game. It was super funny. Definitely enjoyed it a lot. I was playing against my buddy who I've known for a long time, and he doesn't always get Saturdays off, so it was really cool to get a chance to play his beloved Harlequins. And it was a good battle. The Scions, although seemingly maybe too expensive, I think they could be 8 or 9 points, maybe 9. Yeah, maybe 9 points. I don't know. They've built in deep strike, so maybe 10's right. Their guns seem kind of expensive though, but they're expensive because they have built-in deep strike, I guess. So it was interesting. Definitely learned that I probably have way too many Scions, because I have like 11 Taurox Primes and like 100 and something Scions, and I fielded like 50, and that felt like enough, if not, more than enough. I wouldn't have minded dropping some of them for some much cheaper, just regular Igard Vostroyan infantry squads. So it was cool though. I'll be sticking with it. I'll definitely carve out for my collection a nice Scion army, and then maybe use some of it to trade for some other stuff. So just a quick recap. Under the mastermind of the Redbeard boss, the Tempestus Scions can defeat the Harlequins in a fight to last man standing type battle. It was good times, and I'll talk to you soon about some Knight Codex houses and relics and stratagems and all that good stuff. Please subscribe.